It's great that you always speak about your love for the animals and your love for nature and how to preserve it. You've also spoken enough about the immigrant issue. What's happening in India right now is that there aren't that many people talking. Do you keep a track of what's happening back here? Do you watch the news? Yeah.
I do. There's so much happening. It can be difficult to really keep fully up to date, but I try my best to understand what's happening. I think a lot of it's really complex. You mentioned a lot of people don't speak, and I think that's a really interesting point. And I think to kind of grow the kind of culture that respects everyone's right to speak is really important for a democracy, and I think that can be difficult.
Sure. And is speaking enough, or people need to do a lot more?
Marches and protests and really showing up has its value. I think that's really another way of exercising our right, to speak. But also sometimes it's words, also sometimes it's art, sometimes it's, there's other ways as well. I think for all of us to kind of be active citizens is important, but also comes down to who that individual is and what their natural way of speaking or expressing is as well.
Right. When you speak about issues, here people call you brave. Everybody says that it's so brave of you to speak, which you are. What do you think stops people from speaking here?
I mean, fear is powerful. I mean, even I feel fearful. I'm not brave all the time. There's certain things I feel very brave to say, but there's certain things I feel very fearful to say as well. And
fear of what?
Well, I think, as I just touched on earlier, I think creating a climate where it's safe to speak contrasting views and allow that. For example, that quote from Voltaire years ago that said, like, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to my death your right to say it. I think that's very important. The idea that I may disagree with you and you may disagree with me, but you have a right to voice your opinion, and so do I. And if I voice an opinion that's contrary or a minority, I shouldn't get criticism for it or threats for it or have my livelihood disturbed for it, my safety threatened for it. So all of that creates a climate of fear where how can citizens speak if they're going to be fearful of their lives? You know what I mean? Like that's a scary situation. So I think for me, like the climate of how to speak and how to be able to dialogue peacefully is something that in the world at large is at risk a little bit at the moment.
The great thing that happened here is that when the biggest names didn't speak up for whatever they wanted to or not, the students came out. The students, the younger students were the ones who showed the way, and that led to a lot of people from the film fraternity to come out and talk. You think that was a good sign?
I mean, I think so often it's young people, isn't it? So often it's students. I mean, it's people who have still that connection to a sense of idealism, a sense of hope, who can sort of remind people, how to do that. And I think that's really inspiring.